Hi everyone, I wanted to give a little math review on adding and subtracting hundreds. So we'll try to make a few of these videos a week. So you guys can get started. If you have a pencil and a paper, you can go grab it. And if you need to pause the video at any time to do some work or go get anything, you can always pause it. So we're gonna start out just remembering how to add simple hundreds with no tens or ones. So we learned this trick back in class if you remember. So let's look at our numbers. We've been learning 3 plus 4 or 4 plus 3 for a really long time. So what is that? What is 3 plus 4? Right, it's 7. So it's in the hundreds place. So if we have 300 plus 400, we would have 700. So you can think about that in your head, or if you want to do it the standard way, you can think 0 plus 0 is 0. It's hard doing this through a camera, so my handwriting might not be too neat. So we have another 0 plus 0. And then 3 plus 4 is 7. So whichever way you think about it, we get 700. So let's look at this one. Can you do this one in your head without even writing anything down? 700 plus 100. Think of 7 plus 1 equals 8. So 700 plus 100 equals 800. Okay, so let's add some tens and ones to this. So I see no ones here, so let's just think about those tens right now. 350 plus 450. I know that 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 5. Remember, we always start in the ones and move over to the tens column. That's what I just did. 5 plus 5 is 10. So let's not forget, to make a 10, we put the ones down here, and we put our 1 that we carried over in the next column. Or you can think about, it kind of looks like a 10, it's just a little bit split up because there's not enough room to put it all together. So now we have 3 plus 4 plus 1. Ooh, I can do this easily in my head. Look, I think 3 plus 1 is 4. So 4 plus 4 is a doubles fact, and I know that that's 8. So if you want to think of it, if you want to do one at a time, you can think 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you want to think of 50 plus 50 equals 100, you can add 300 plus 400 plus another 100, but that's only if you're ready for that. But there's lots of different ways that we can think about adding the hundreds. Let's look at this one. So at any time, you can always pause the video to write these down, because I know I have them written, but you might not have had a chance yet. So don't forget that you can pause it whenever you need to. So we have 0 plus 0 equals 0. 8 plus 1 equals 9. And 7 plus 2 is what? Another 9. So we have 990. Alrighty, so let's go on. Let's practice some subtraction because we've also been doing that. So I started off with some easier numbers with no tens and ones. So if you think about it, it's the same thing we just did for the addition, but we're going to do it backwards for subtraction. We can think of 5 take away 2, 5 minus 2, which is what? Or you can think of 500 minus 200. It would equal the same answer. So what do you think? Right, 5 minus 2 is 3, so 500 minus 200 must be 300. Let's move on to this one. Let's think about this one in our heads. 300 minus 100. So taking that 100 away. Or think of 3 minus 1 is, so 300 minus 100 is, you got it, 200. Okay, let's add some tens to this next one. We have 350 minus 120. So like I said, you can pause the video if you need to write these down, because I know I'm just going at my own pace, but please stop the video whenever you need to and play it again. when you're ready. So let's see. 0 take away 0 is 0, of course. Then I'm going to move over to my tens column. What's 5 take away 2? But it's really 50 take away 20 because it's in that tens place. Good. We have 3. And then we have 3 minus 1. What's 3 take away 1? Good. 2. So our answer would be 230. So I'm actually going to leave this one up for a minute, and you can pause it, but I want you to try this one without any directions for me. I want you to think about something that looks a little different. You have to remember what to do if something looks like it might not work. So I'll give you a minute. You have 930 minus 450. What does it look like we need to do for this one? Okay, we have 0 minus 0. We can put that there, but now what needs to happen? 3 take away 5. Can you do that? Is 3 big enough to take 5 away from it? Nope, it definitely is not. So, if you remember in class, what does this 3 have to do? It has to go over to the 9 and say, can I please borrow a 1? So it goes next door and 9 says, sure. So don't forget, 9 said yes. So now 9 take away 1, it becomes an 8 because it was so nice to give 1 up. And we have to put that 1 up here because we took it from this side and moved it here. Now we can move the 3 up and it becomes 13. Now 13 is big enough to take that 5 away. So what do you think? 13 take away 5. Good, it's 8. Now can we do 8 minus 4? Remember, the 9 isn't there anymore, so our new number is 8. 8 take away 4 is, it's a doubles fact. Good, we have 4, so our answer is 480. All right, let's come down here. You guys can write 271 minus 97. And I want you guys to look at where I placed my 97. In the number 97, there's no hundreds. It's just 97. It's not a hundreds number. So I left my hundreds space blank because there's nothing there. It's only 97. And I had to line up my 9 in the tens place and my 7 in the ones place because otherwise it wouldn't work out too well. So I need to make sure that the numbers are in the right spots and I'm writing super neat. Okay, think about this. What needs to happen? That 1 is way too tiny to take 7 away from it. You're right, we have to borrow. So let's pretend 1 walks next door, says 7, can I please borrow 1? And 7 says, sure. So 7 gives 1 away. That means it becomes a 6. And it gives the 1 over here, gives that group a 10, and then the 1 becomes 11. Definitely big enough to take 7 away now. What is 11 minus 7? All right, I got 4. What did you get? Right. Now, this is something new. Since 7 gave 1 away and it became 6, is it big enough to take away that 9? No, so we actually have to borrow again. So now watch what happens. This 6 is going to do the same job that it has before. It's going to hop over to the 2 and say, can I please borrow 1? So the 2 says, sure. So the 2 becomes a 1. And just like before, we're going to give that 1 up here now. So now the 6 is going to move up. So we just borrowed 2 times. And that's what happens if all of your numbers might not be big enough. So we have to borrow all the way from the hundreds place. So now we have 16. Take away 9. Why don't you think about that for a minute? What is 16 take away 9? 7. Good. And now we have 1. We have 1 there, and we have nothing. So 1, take away nothing is 1. So our answer is 174. Now we're going to try another one like this that we have to borrow twice, it looks like. Now don't forget, you don't have to get tricked on this because we have learned how to borrow. Sometimes we're finding with the bigger numbers, you might have to borrow more than once, but no matter what, you always go to the left, next door to the left to borrow. So even if we borrow from the 6 and then the 6 needs to borrow from the 8, that's okay. We just keep going next door until we can solve our problem. So let's look. 2 minus 4. Can you do that? Nope. So what do we need to do? Yep, we need to borrow from the 6. He becomes a 5. Puts the 1 over there, and I'll bring my 2 up. So it becomes 12. 12 minus 4. Yep, it's 8. Now, here's where we need to do a double borrow. It has to happen again. Can I do 5 minus 8? No, so now we need to do it again. So the 5 is going to ask the 8 to borrow. This 8 becomes a 7. I'm going to add my 1 and bring my 5 up. So 5 becomes strong enough. It becomes a 15 because we borrowed. Now I can do 15 minus 8. So do you guys realize how important it is to keep everything nice and neat? Because if I made my numbers messy, I might get them confused about where they belong. So it's always important to keep them in the right column when you're doing this. And I know it's tricky to write neat sometimes, but we could do our best with that. So we have 15 minus 8. Get it, 7. And now 7 minus 5, we can definitely do that. Even though we borrowed, that 7 is still big enough to take 5 away. So let's think. 7, take away 5. Good, we have 2. So our answer is 278. All right, we have 2 more problems, and then we are all done with our practice for now. Here is adding the hundreds. So we have ones, tens, and hundreds here. So let's think. We have 8 plus 9. What is 8 plus 9? It's a doubles plus 1 fact, because you can think of 8 plus 8 and then add 1 if you want to think about it that way. Good, so we get 17. So don't forget, now that we're adding, we don't have to borrow anymore. I know sometimes it's tricky to switch over to a different operation, but now we're adding. So 8 plus 9 is 17. So I'm going to keep my 7, add my 1 to the next, and just like before, even though we're adding this time, we only carry the 1 into the next column. So see, I put it right over here. So now we have 1 plus 1 plus 3. So I might do it like this. I might take the bigger number, 3, 4, 5. So let me put my 5 in there. Now I have 3 plus 6, or 6 plus 3. Good, we have 9. So 957 is our answer. All right, so let's do our last one. We have 719 plus 745. So we're going to come to the ones column first. What is 9 plus 5? Good, we get 14, but can I put 14 in here? No, it's too big. It's bigger than 9. So I'm going to put my 4 down here and my 1 over here to carry it. Don't forget, I'm not going to go all the way over to 7 because we're not there yet. I'm just going to go right next door to carry my 1. So now I have 4, 5, 6. So 4 plus 1 is 6. Now here's another doubles fact. What is 7 plus 7? 14. Now this one is going to be bigger than this space. But since we don't have any more numbers over here, we don't have to carry it. It would actually go into the thousands place. So what you would do is you would still put your 14. So you would put your 4 there, and then you would just put a 1 in the next place. So that answer ended up being really big. And like I said, the reason we don't have to carry that one is because there's no more numbers that we have to add. So when it's the very last number, it's okay to put them both down. We couldn't put them both down here because, look, we still have all these other ones to do. So big numbers like this are coming in math a little bit, so we will do a lot of practice with them. All right, that was our little math practice for today. And within the next week, I will hopefully get to send you another video or two of adding and subtracting the hundreds. All right, have a fun day. Bye.